the song with your heart. Play the song with your heart.
And one time.
But anywho, let's transition to the final game on the docket. The Bills versus the Chiefs. Now, what did I tell you?
I think I should kick this off. Okay. I had Bills going all the way for whatever reason. I thought Josh Allen and company was going to be able to get it done. That freaking Patrick Mahomes. I don't know how Brady passed off the magic to him, but this is getting ridiculous, man. It really is. This dude just keeps winning and winning and winning. It is to the point he might win next week because that's just like I don't even understand. Like it's ridiculous, man. Everything that can go right for Pat Mahomes does go right, except that one year against the Bengals and that Super Bowl against Tom Brady himself. But it was ridiculous, man. Like, dog, I don't think there was a single drop by a Kansas City Chiefs receiver that night. The defense was playing well. The Bills were able to move the ball,
Yeah,
but something happened late game, and they just
got tight.
yeah, it's something that it just wasn't working. Stefon Diggs, he's dropping wide open deep balls and balls, and like it's just ridiculous. James Cook was cooking in the beginning, then he kind of like disappeared. Like they really were shutting him down. And with that defense, man, I've been saying that Chiefs defense is really good all year. They shut down almost every Buffalo receiving threat that they had. Josh Allen had to do a lot of work with his legs. And when it was time for him to make a play with his arm, there was really no one there to make the play to except for he missed Khalil Shakir, I believe, that was wide open in the end zone. I don't know how that happened.
Wait. Let me break it down.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that was his fault because when you look at the play, Chris Jones was doing a really good job of because I think Deion Dawkins was protecting against Chris Jones, and Chris Jones did a really good job of pushing Deion Dawkins back to the point where it disrupted Josh Allen's throw to Khalil Shakir because I think Deion Dawkins bumped into Josh Allen. And see, I think because of that, it altered Josh Allen's throw. Because as a quarterback, you're going to need to be able to plant your feet.
Yeah.
You have to make sure your feet is planted a certain way so you can get enough velocity, enough arm strength on the ball. And when he bumped into him, that altered the trajectory of the throw, and that's why it's short. So I'm not gonna see like people want to criticize him for that. I'm not gonna necessarily criticize him for that. I think that was just a great defensive play at the end of the day. And people saying he should have dumped it off to Stefon Diggs. Well, if let's just say he tries to dump it off to Stefon Diggs, would that throw be short as well? Because at the end of the day, Chris Jones was pushing Deion Dawkins back all the way to the point where Dawkins bumped into Josh Allen and his throw was altered because of it. So let's just say he tried to dump it off to Stefon Diggs. Would he be able to is the thing. And would Stefon Diggs be able to get the first down? Because if you look at the play, there was a safety right there that could sort of angle it to where he prevents him to get the first down. Now you could say, well, if he goes out of bounds, but we don't know because these NFL safeties are pretty fast.
Yeah.
Like NFL level players is different than college, different from high school. These dudes can run. And Stefon Diggs, I like Stefon Diggs, but he's not, he's been in the league for a minute. He don't have the same acceleration that he once did. So it's a possibility he won't even be able to get out of bounds. I thought it was the right read, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean he was wide open.
Yeah, I thought it was the right read. People criticizing him about it, but I thought it was the right read. But just continue. What were you gonna say?
Well, yeah, like it's just the Chiefs just really did the Chiefs thing as always. This is getting kind of crazy. The Bills can't catch a break. You saw the fan in the crowd He was crying. He pulled the hat over his. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, I'm glad I'm not that emotionally invested in my team because boy, I'd be in for some dark days if that's the case. But man, Tyler Bass, how do you miss? I
Mm.
know kickers are human and all of that, but dog, at that moment, in that spot, with almost it's not ideal conditions, obviously, but bruh, you gotta hit the field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was looking good, then all of a sudden it just moved to the. I'm like, what is going on? It's just man, and he just got paid too. I wonder if they're going to keep him on the roster, but yeah, it was just a collapse. Especially and the Bills defense definitely pooped on himself. They was doing okay,
Yeah.
but then it just seemed like when the Chiefs needed a score, they went and got it.
Yep.
And I will say, the Bills got bailed out and did not capitalize
Mm-hmm.
because Miko he fumbled out the back of the end zone, touchback. Well, Bills get the ball back pretty much the same spot they lost it, and I think they went 3 and out.
Yep.
So I mean, it was just a whole bunch of foolishness happened. I'm not sure where the Bills go for here. They have a lot of free agents,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what their cap situation is looking like. But yeah, I, Josh Allen, he played a great game. Josh Allen, I will admit, Josh. I've been kind of skeptical about Josh Allen because of turnovers and things of that nature, but he really played a really good game. He honestly did as much as he really could. But it is what it is. Football, it's a complete game. All three phases of the game have to show up,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately for them, then it happened, especially special teams. Because my God, but the Chiefs on the other end, Pat Mahomes, he's just what can you say about this dude that hasn't been said a million times? He's turning water into wine at this point. Travis Kelsey, 2 touchdowns. He really turned up. Seems like they get a stat boost against the Bills. But yeah, Rasheed Rice, I'm still losing the Rasheed Rice war, but it's all good. Uh, yeah, Pacheco, he was running hard. Okay, oh yeah, oh my goodness. I forget. How did I not? Okay, the Buffalo Bills. Whoever the special teams coach is, I got a question for you. It's 4th and 4, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You're in your own territory. Late in the game, about 7, 8-ish, 6 minutes left, something like that. What in your mind says, not only am I going to run a fake in my own territory, I'm going to run a fake not with an offensive player, but with DeMar Hamlin, who is a safety. What is what in the world were they thinking?
Who knows?
They try to secure his comeback player of the year award or something. Was he
Mm-hmm.
trying to give him a hero moment?
Pretty much.
No, this is the playoffs. That was a silly call. That was silly, man.
That was a silly call. That
I
was
thought they was just gonna punt the ball regularly. Then I look up and I see DeMar Hamlin running. I'm like, what?
oh man. Yeah, that
That
was
was that
bad.
was that was silly, man.
And then they
That
got
that
bailed out.
effectively lost them the game.
And then they got bailed out by McCole Hardman.
Yeah, and then still they ended up punting anyway. So that was stupid.
It's moments, man. Let me tell you something. So I wanna say this about Josh Allen. I feel like the criticism is warranted for Josh Allen. He doesn't deserve the blame, but he deserves some criticism for the game. Here's the thing I'll say about Josh Allen because I feel like there's some people say, "Oh man, he can't get it done against Mahomes," which is fair. He can't get it done against Mahomes. But here's the first thing I'll say about Josh Allen. Number one, this idea that he doesn't play well in the playoffs is false. He actually does play pretty well in the playoffs. It's just against the elite QBs like Mahomes and Burrow,
Bro.
he didn't play well. Well, actually, he did play well. I'll say against Mahomes, he did play well 2 out of the 3 times.
Yes,
But against
Burrow. They
Burrow,
they played
he didn't play
horrible.
well. He didn't play well. And then the first time he played Mahomes, he didn't play particularly well. This was the AFC Championship game. But I'm not going to put that all against him because number one, he was very young, It was his first time, and he was probably very nervous that game. He played well against Lamar. His first playoff game, he didn't play particularly well against Deshaun, but again, he was still developing. I don't know if was that his second year. That may have been his second year starting or something, second or third year starting. So he was still not that dude yet. So
He did stink it up against Skylar Thompson last year
I did
and
forget
the
about
and the
that.
Dolphins. Yeah,
Yeah, he did kind of stink it up against. For the most part, he's been pretty solid in the playoffs. He's not Peyton Manning in the playoffs, right? Where he was significantly lesser than himself. Like normally, for the most part, he's been pretty good in the playoffs. Like you can kind of count on him in the playoffs. With that being said, this game, I think Josh Allen was pretty good. I'm not going to say he was great. He was pretty good. I see a lot of people mentioning the amount of throws that he had that weren't that I think a lot of his throws were either behind the line of scrimmage or it may have been like just 5 to 10 yards. Like if he wasn't like throwing the ball down the field 20 plus yards a
okay.
lot. It wasn't until like later in the game where he started to try to air it out a lot. And that was one of the things people were sort of criticizing Josh Allen for is that y'all are saying, "Oh, he had a great game, but he only threw the ball this amount of times down the field 20 plus yards and stuff like that." But I thought he did play a pretty solid game up until when it mattered most. And that's the thing with Josh Allen. When it matters most against Patrick Mahomes. In order to beat Patrick Mahomes, you need to have a few things. You need to have an elite defense. You need to have a quarterback that's a difference maker. And you also have to have great coaching. You have to have those three things, in my opinion. Now, with this game, I think the Bills, the defense wasn't all that great. They tried, they did a good job in certain times where they could get a stop, and they did that. They were able to do that. But then the running game with Isaiah Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire started to get it going, and that's when the
Yeah, oh my
game.
goodness, that was crazy.
That's when the tide sort of turned for the worse for the Bills. Is when that rushing game really started to dominate. Mahomes, he could utilize play action more. They didn't put everything on Mahomes, and Mahomes was able to dice him up at the end, and he did his thing. The final drive for the Bills is where we look at Josh Allen and we're wondering, okay, what are you doing? So I already mentioned where he tried to beam the ball down the field to Khalil Shakir, but he wasn't able to. It was underthrown because his offensive lineman bumped into him because Chris Jones. The third down play is where there's no excuse. You have to dump it off. I think it was Kincaid who was open underneath. You have to dump it off to Kincaid. You cannot try to look downfield into the end zone. Just try to dump it off to Kincaid. And then if it's like 4th and 3, 4th and 4, you'll be able to go for it possibly. And 4th and 4 with Josh Allen on our own field, I'll take those chances. But nope, he didn't do that. He was looking down the field. This is one of his deficiencies, is the fact that he tries to take the home run play too much instead of trying to go underneath. And with Joe Brady, he's been doing more of that. But he reverted back to his old ways. And see, that's where you can criticize Josh Allen. It's the fact that third down play, he could have dumped it off to Kincaid for maybe 5 or 6 yards. And then you could possibly go for it. But he didn't do that. And that's where we look at Josh Allen. And at the end of the day, regardless of how he played, he couldn't get it done against Patrick Mahomes. And this was the weakest the Chiefs have ever looked.
Exactly.
And he still couldn't get it done. I look at Josh Allen. He's an elite quarterback. He's a top QB. He's a top 5 QB in the league. But Mahomes is in a tier of his own. You cannot compare Josh Allen to Mahomes. I'm sorry. There is no rivalry. Mahomes has owned him. Just because you win some games in the regular season, can you do it when it matters most?
You know who Josh Allen reminds me of?
Who does he remind me of?
Joel Embiid.
I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because he puts up all these great numbers in it. He be leading the league in touchdowns year after year, then gets to the playoffs. He does well. He does good enough to win like the first round. And then sometimes the second round comes around and he goes up against a Joe Burrow or a Pat Mahomes. And then,
Mm-hmm.
Embiid went up against Jason Tatum, led Celtics and teams like that. And look what happened. They lose.
He
He's
has to have
literally
the
NFL Embiid.
he has to have a significant advantage if he wants
Yeah.
to win. And that's the thing. Because you're that great, you're going to get paid a lot of money. You're not going to have a significant advantage. The team is expecting you to overcome, to put on that Superman cape because you're getting paid all that money, because you're that talented, you're that great. And when you're not able to do it, then we're looking at you sideways. We're like, hold on, we paying you all this money. We're calling you elite. We're calling you this top 5 QB, and yet you still can't beat Mahomes. Pause. You still can't win against Mahomes when it matters most on your home turf. Those Bills,
Exactly.
those Bills fans shoveled all that snow, did all that, did all that being in freezing temperatures just for you guys to lose against the Chiefs again? You should be ashamed of yourself. And oh yeah, and by the way, I'm not gonna let Stefon Diggs off the hook because
Yeah.
he was egregious as well. He had 2 bad drops during the game that he should have caught. The first one, I forget what it was, but the second one was obviously that bomb. It was like 60+ yard bomb from Josh Allen to Stefon. He should have caught that. People and see, was it a perfect throw? No, it could have
No.
been better, but it was good
But
enough.
if you supposed to be this borderline top 5 guy, you make that catch.
Absolutely.
Jamar
And
Chase catching that.
it was right in his
CD Lamb
hands.
catching that.
It was right in his hands. If the football is right in your hands, it's a good throw. I don't care what anybody says. It's a good throw. If the
You know
football
what's
is
crazy?
right in your hands, it's a good throw. Yeah, what are you gonna say?
Trayvon Diggs catches that. And he's the daggone corner.
You might be right about that. You might be right. But yeah, man, he hasn't looked like a number 1 since week 6. That was a long time ago. And he looked like Calvin Ridley out there. Like he was
Mm.
dropping passes. He just didn't look the same. Like he looked like a shell of himself. And I was very disappointed with the way that Stefon Diggs looked. I'm looking at Dalton Kincaid. I'm looking at Dawson Knox, and I'm like, yo, these guys are catching passes. These guys are doing their job. What about you? Khalil Shakir. He's trying, but Stefon Diggs, you're the number 1 guy, and you can't catch passes when it matters most. That's I'm looking at you sideways about that. Like, I can't call you elite no more. I can't call you a number 1 because you're not doing what you're supposed to. And at the end of the day, that's just what it is. Like he's complained. Like what during what was it? April 2023. He was on Twitter complaining about something, and then like I think his Trayvon Diggs talked about his brother need to get out of there and all that other stuff. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, yo, he need to step up. Like you doing all this complaining, and I have a theory. I think part of the reason why Josh is not throwing to Stefon is because I think Josh is tired of his ass. I think he probably an asshole. He probably like, yo, you saying all this stuff about me, taking shots about me and everything like that. Well, guess what? I'm the QB, and I'm not going to throw you the ball as much as you want because you being this asshole, you saying all this stuff. Why should I throw you the ball? Why should I throw you the ball? And you dropping passes? Why should I throw you the ball? Seriously.
Possibly.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's not gonna. He's he's being passive aggressive possibly, and he's not gonna say it to him, say it to his face, or say it out loud. But all right, if that's how you feel, I'm not gonna pass you the ball. It's as simple as that. If you want to be an asshole, your brother's coming out calling me out saying, "Oh, this and that and the third and all that," saying that, "Oh, don't forget what Josh Allen looked like before Stefon Diggs." You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, okay, I see how it is. I'm not gonna throw you the ball then. And we'll see what happens. He still looks elite at times. So yeah, man. On the Chiefs side of things, because I didn't speak about the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is a one of one. He's a gem. He's easily the best player in the NFL, best quarterback in the NFL. He keeps overcoming. He keeps doing the unimaginable. It's incredible what we are blessed with seeing when it comes to Patrick Mahomes, because each year, each day, we see something different that we've never seen from Patrick Mahomes. We keep getting surprised. We keep getting just impressed by the stuff that he's doing over and over and over again. And people keep betting against him like you. I told you, like Patrick
That
Mahomes.
is the first time I bet against Pat Mahomes.
But this time, I'm telling you, I told you, like I knew this was gonna happen. I knew that the Bills weren't gonna able to get it done when it matters most. The way that they looked against the Dolphins, the play calling, the efficiency with the receivers, with Patrick Mahomes, with the running game, I was like, this is going to translate against the Bills. Like when it matters most, the Chiefs just remind me of the Patriots. They just know how to win in the clutch. They know how to make the right plays in the clutch. They've been there before. They have an elite coaching staff. They have a great defense. They just know what to do when the game is on the line. And Patrick Mahomes continuously does it. Everybody else around him, like you said, I looked at the box score, and you're right. 0 drops from the receivers. Like, how crazy is that? They were the number one team when it comes to wide receiver drop passes. And in the playoffs, the receivers remembered how to catch. That just speaks to just the culture and Patrick Mahomes' leadership and his ability to just put confidence in his, in his teammates, in his receivers, that they believe that they can go out there and elevate their game when it matters most. So Patrick Mahomes, amazing. I can't wait for this game against the Ravens. It's going to be an all-timer.
Hopefully.
Man, just it's a blessing that we get to see Patrick Mahomes. I was fortunate enough to see Patrick Mahomes live 1 year. I think it was 2021. I was fortunate enough, and man, he's a one of one, man. And it's just unreal the fact that he's able to overcome with the lack of talent. We've seen this before with Tom Brady, and we're seeing it again with Patrick Mahomes. Just overcoming the odds, overcoming just situations like this. And he's the standard. He really is. When you look at quarterbacks, all the quarterbacks today, there's one player, it's Patrick Mahomes. He is the standard when it comes to excellence, when it comes to the quarterback position, and there's nobody doing it on a level of him. Don't give me, oh, he doesn't have better stats than this guy. Oh, don't give me, oh, he threw this interception. Just watch the games. Watch what he's doing, and you'll understand what we're talking about. All right. I'm trying to think. But yeah, man, the Chiefs, the running game was dominant, and the Bills defense, they just couldn't stop them when it matters most from the running game and from just Patrick Mahomes being able to get it done when it matters most. And that's really the end of the story, man. That's really what it's all about. All right. Yeah. I think that'll do it for this game right here. Let me see. If there's anything else I'm missing. Let me see. I think that's it. I think that's all I really wanted to say about this game. Yeah, we'll transition. Let's see.
Look, cold world, still a cold world. And a couple y'all is cool, but we a little more thorough. Whole time, a little more girls. You know I spit that sick shit and it's still no cure. Hold up, loud packs.